Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm reviewing the Ear Dryer MD, which may be the best way to dry out your ears. Coming up. Have you ever gone swimming or got out of the shower and had the experience of having water stuck in your ears and you can't get it out? Chances are you have, and I would bet that it drove you crazy. I remember growing up and going to the pool with my brothers and my parents, and when we got done at the pool, if we had water stuck in our ears, our parents would put ear drops into our ear canals made of isopropyl alcohol to help speed up the evaporation of the water. The problem was I freaking hated those ear drops and would just rather go with having the water stuck in my ears and hope that I didn't get an infection. Now, instead of using ear drops, you could always use a hair dryer and hold that over your ear for about 20 minutes, but I don't know about you, I don't have time to use a hair dryer on each ear for 20 minutes a pop. You could always go and grab a cotton swab, but you have to be very careful with these because you run the risk of rupturing your eardrum. Now, a potentially better option is to use an actual ear dryer like the Ear Dryer MD from Eosera. Instead of using uncomfortable alcohol ear drops or dangerous cotton swabs, the Ear Dryer MD uses good old-fashioned hot air to dry out your ears. Now, if you want to check out the Ear Dryer MD yourself, I will have it linked in the description, but you can also find it at your local pharmacy, Walmart, or CVS. The concept is very simple. If you have water in your ears after you get out of the swimming pool or out of the shower, all you have to do is run a 3-minute cycle of the Ear Dryer MD on each ear canal, and you're good to go. And let me just say, I love this thing, but I would have loved it even more 30 years ago when I was a kid. The Ear Dryer MD does use a lithium rechargeable battery that uses a USB-C charging cable, which means it charges pretty quickly. In fact, you can go from it being dead to fully charged in less than 2.5 hours. Now, when you have the Ear Dryer MD fully charged, it will run for approximately 42 minutes, which is long enough for you to dry each of your ears 7 times on a 3-minute cycle. Now, it isn't very obvious, but the silver button on the side of this unit is the on-off switch. When you press and hold that for 3 seconds, it turns on. You press and hold it for another 3 seconds, and it shuts off. When you do turn on the Ear Dryer MD, it will indicate how much battery life you have left in it by these little dots that light up on the front of it. The only problem with these dots is that they're very faint, so if you have vision difficulties, you may not be able to tell how much battery life you have left. A nice little feature that they have on this is that you can actually remove the ear tip and switch it out with another one. They give you 2 additional ones inside of the box, but you can sanitize these pretty easily just using rubbing alcohol. Now, when you first turn on the Ear Dryer MD and you use it at its regular setting, the air comes out at around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 38 degrees Celsius. However, with that silver button, if you briefly click it, don't hold it for 3 seconds because that turns it off, but if you just give it another click, it will light up red, and that will indicate that you are on the heated cycle, which actually goes up to 111 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 44 degrees Celsius. The instructions indicate that you should run it for a minute before you start using it inside of your ears, but I find that it warms up really quickly, and I don't think that that's necessary. Once you get it in the mode that you want, you basically stick it inside of your ear canal, and it will give you a warning indicator after about 3 minutes, which tells you that it's time to take it out of that ear, put it in the other ear, or you could technically leave it for an additional 3 minutes on the same side if you really want to. Now, I decided to test this out after getting out of my morning shower. No, I'm not going to take you in the shower with me, but basically I like to wash out my ears every single time I shower. I get a lot of water in there, which means that there's a lot of water to dry out. When I did it, I actually prefer using the hotter setting, so getting up to 111 degrees Fahrenheit. I just find that that's comfortable for me. Actually kind of seems like a spa day a little bit. It's very relaxing. And after about 3 minutes, my ear canal is completely dry. If you have larger ear canals than what I do, or have more water inside of your ears, then it may take you several cycles for you to actually dry it out. But remember, the warmer you go, the quicker it's going to dry. Now, you don't have to just use this after getting out of the shower or getting out of the pool. You can use it in other circumstances as well. For instance, after a long day of using hearing aids or earbuds, you take them out of your ears might be a little bit damp. You can pop this in, run it for a 3-minute cycle, or even less than a 3-minute cycle, and completely dry out your ear canals. Now, I've got to say, it is kind of loud when when you're using it. The motor that it has is loud, but really the loudest part is when you have it inside of your ear canals and you're blowing that warm air. It's almost like you're driving in a convertible and you're having the wind blowing all the way around you. But don't worry, it is loud. It's just not loud enough to cause any hearing loss. Now you might be wondering, why not just let your ear canals dry naturally? Well, there are a few problems that come along with doing that. Not only is water inside of your ears incredibly annoying if you ask me, but it can also lead to the growth of bacteria that can cause an ear infection like swimmer's ear. Swimmer's ear can have symptoms of pain, itchiness, hearing loss, or even tinnitus. And if consistently keeping your ears dry prevents you from ever getting swimmer's ear, then it's totally worth it. Another reason to keep your ear canals dry is the risk of fungal infections like otomycosis. Fungus also happens to love dark, damp places like your ear canal, especially if you live in a hot, humid climate. A fungal infection shares the exact same symptoms as a bacterial infection. Oftentimes, treatment of bacterial and fungal infections requires the use of medications prescribed by your physician, which can be expensive and inconvenient. So if simply drying out your ear canals with a tool like the Ear Dryer MD can potentially prevent those infections, I say it's totally worth it. Overall, the Ear Dryer MD is by far the best ear dryer that I've tested on the market. It's more effective due to higher drying temperatures, it's rechargeable, it's more compact in size, it's less than $40, and it comes with a 2-year manufacturer warranty. However, I should warn you, if you already have ear pain or you have drainage coming out of your ear canals that is a little bit more than just water, then you really need to see a physician before you start using the Ear Dryer MD. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a really good option to dry out your ear canals, the Ear Dryer MD from Eosera might be exactly what you're looking for.